Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I am DOZ. With me is Cousin Cheeto, and we are here to break down the very first Raw on Netflix, the 2026 edition of the Stranger Things WWE collaboration. Cheeto, what did you think of the overall show?
I I know a lot of people have been shitting on it. I am not sitting here saying that it was good by any stretch, but I honestly don't think it was horrible for what we've been getting with Raw. Now, that does bring up an overarching issue that we will get into later, but was it a horrible Raw? No. Was it a great Raw? No. But that kind of seems to be the status quo of what we've been getting. I'm a big fan of as many matches as you can cram on a card, and this obviously and it's been a problem with Raw overall. Like, they've only been giving us 4 matches a week anyway. So
Yeah, that's fair. I thought that the show itself, it was all right. It seems to be that WWE is just kind of settled for like that mid-tier point of like, okay, we'll give you just enough, but we're not going to go like out of our way to make it great. Every once in a while they could do that, but it's not as often as it used to be with like WWE and like other companies like WCW, where you knew you would get a really good show every week, and now it's just like WWE's like, we'll give them just enough. But okay, I think I'm going to start off with the WWE Stranger Things Netflix collab. That is a complete waste of an idea because all they did was they just changed the set. They didn't get any of the Stranger Things cast. They didn't get the crew. They didn't get the writers, the creators, nothing. It was just like they said, here's the deal. It's WWE, Netflix, Stranger Things. We got to promote it. And that's it. And they really didn't do anything else with it. It felt like, other than the set design and the music, it was a complete waste of time. Do you have any thoughts on that?
yeah, I mean, I agree with you 100%. It was a complete waste of time. It didn't seem like that they're I mean, it's kind of like those 90s crossovers. You know what I mean? Like, where they
Right.
just have a theme and it's like, okay, like, that's great. There's nothing special about it. That's why I said this was kind of like your typical Raw, but with like set dressing a little bit. I don't know. I didn't honestly think too much about the Stranger Things thing. I was like, okay, it's cross promotion, whatever. I don't care. My main focus is always the matches and the booking. I don't care about the set dressing. I don't care about, like, just all the bells and whistles. I don't care about the celebrities in the crowd. I don't care about the celebrities getting involved. I want good matches and good booking. And well, we'll get into that here in a little bit.
Okay. Well, I think we can go ahead and get into it now if you'd like. Okay. They kicked us off with the women's tag team title match of Rhea Ripley and Kairi Sane versus Asuka and I forgot the other one's name. Shows how unfamiliar
Kairi
I am
Sane?
with the pro. No, yeah, Kairi Sane. Oh yeah, okay. Rhea Ripley, Kairi Sane, Rhea
No,
Ripley, and Io Sky and versus Kairi Sane and Asuka for the women's
the
tag. Sorry,
Kabuki
folks. The
Warriors.
Kabuki Warriors. It's going to take me a while because I obviously don't watch this product enough. But I thought this match itself, I thought it was just all right. It was a good match to kind of get the crowd warmed up. But to me, it felt like Barclays just wasn't really into this show as much as I thought they were going to be. It felt like they were just dead at times to me. And the match itself was just all right.
Yeah, I really feel like that they should have done this. Like, I really feel like they should have done this next week in Germany, because the foreign crowds are just absolutely bonkers. And I get it. Stranger Things came out like last week or something like that. But I'm like, I still, for like those European crowds, I'd have waited. They go bonkers for title changes. They go bonkers for their favorites. I mean, they go bonkers for AJ Styles, for Rhea Ripley and Io Sky. They even go bonkers for the Kabuki Warriors and their heels. Regarding this match, I thought this match was okay. I don't feel like this is the best work that these teams could have done. Now, I'm not saying that they should be on their A game every single night, but I don't know. Like, there seemed to be like a 3 count there. I swear to God, there was a 3 count botch in the middle. I don't know if you caught it when, I think she did I want to say it was the over the moonsault, and then they went for the 3 count, and then I think the Eradicator.
Yeah, one of them got their shoulder up, I think, like just barely.
Yeah, but I think her hand still hit the mat, because I heard the clap, the 1, 2 clap. Yep. I heard it. I was like, ooh. Yeah. Because even Rhea Ripley was like, it's over. And
yeah, we won. And
yeah, and they can play that up, but I'm pretty sure she thought that that was a botched win at that point. And I mean, it wouldn't have been horrible because it was like that they were going to win anyway. You know what I mean? So it's not too much of a botched finish.
And this totally is not going to lead to Rhea Ripley and Io Sky breaking up and then doing 1,000 pull apart brawls and 1,000 matches for the next 8 months with a lame payoff, right, Paul Levesque? Right, right. But yeah, we'll see how that one goes.
Yeah, but it was a solid opener. I mean, you know, the one thing I'm glad about this night is that they did book it like a PLE because they had 3 title matches out of 4 matches.
Yep.
So, I mean, 75% of your, I'm using Steiner math here. 75% of your matches of the night are title matches. So it's booked like the PLE. Now, do I think there should be more than 4 matches on a Raw or a PLE? Absolutely. But I do agree that having a majority of title matches on big shows like these is always a plus.
Yeah, because it makes it feel like it's a big fight, feel like you have to see this card because it feels like, oh my God, titles could change hands, and titles did change hands.
And they've been building up this match for weeks now, which I'm glad. As I said, the women's so it's so weird, not to tangent a little bit, but like it's so weird how they do the women's division because it's like for a while the women's tag division was stagnant as hell. But then the women's world title, the women's like heavy like WWE title, even the Intercontinental title was like booming. Like they were just a million miles a minute. You had really good champions in there, really good feuds. Now it's like, okay, now we're going to, we heard the tag division sucks. So now we're going to focus on the tag division. And then all of a sudden the world title picture, the women's world title picture, and the women's WWE title picture now kind of suck. And I'm like, why can't we just book these things so that they are good across the board? Why, you know what I mean? Like, I get it. Not everybody can have airtime, but at the same time, how many ads do you have running? You literally have 4 matches and 4 promos in a show, and out of a 3-hour show.
Yep.
So anyway, that's just my tangent on the women's division right now. Is just like, why can't we just have all the good things now?
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like at the same time.
That's fair because I could see that criticism because it doesn't feel like it's consistent. You have one set of titles that's hot, and then the other set of titles that isn't, and then it's like, all right, you know, it is what it is.
Well, and Stephanie Valkyrie was like hot. Like when she first came in and was running roughshod and was building towards the title. I mean, she was hot with the crowd. She was hot in the ring. And I'm not talking hot as in like physically. I'm talking like
she could work
charismatically. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, don't get me wrong. I actually, and we'll get to this later, the Stephanie Valkyrie and Raquel thing. But like, I feel like that has a potential to be really, really good if they actually let it breathe.
Yeah, if they give it enough time, if they could give it like a good 15 minutes, I think it'd be a solid match.
I think it'd be a solid feud if they gave it a couple of weeks. I mean, probably not Mania worthy. Don't get me wrong, but like leading up to Mania, you could put them in a program through the Rumble and through Elimination Chamber.
Yeah, definitely could. I think it would be great. Okay, and then what came next? I think next came. I'm reading this on WWE.com. So
I have Gunther and AJ was the next.
Okay, yeah. Gunther and AJ. I'm glad that they're doing this now. I'm glad that they're going to get it out of the way now. I think it's going to end in kind of a fuck finish for the first time that they fight. So then that way, the next time that they go at it, it's like, okay, it'll be on a PLE. You'll have to pay to see it. You know, it's going back to the old pay-per-view business model. And I don't want Gunther to go on this like legend killer retirement gimmick. It was cool that he did it to Goldberg. It was cool that he did it to Cena. But I don't want Gunther being known for just retiring people.
I don't think Gunther should have retired Cena anyway. Like I think that it was. I mean, Gunther's good. Don't get me wrong, but like, I don't know. The Legend Killer gimmick just for me just doesn't fit. Now I do have to say his heel work though is
great.
Great. Yeah, he is one of the best heels of the like. I think he's going to be like the Chris Jericho of this era. Like, you love to hate him, but he's so good you can't like actually hate him.
Yeah, I could see Gunther being like that. And for AJ Styles, I want him to retire in TNA. I think he'll retire. He should retire in TNA. He will retire in WWE.
Yeah,
just because that's how I see that going.
Well, and I think they're gonna start the build for Gunther and AJ, and I think they're starting it too early, but I think they're starting to build Gunther and AJ for Mania. Like that'll be like, and I don't know if that's going to be AJ's retirement match. He has said he's going to retire in 2026, but it will definitely be his last Mania this year. So it's like I'm okay with them having a great match at Mania. You know, after Gunther had to suffer through the Jey Uso stuff last year, which was a disappointment. I'm glad
Yes.
that he's actually going to get in the ring with AJ Styles. And actually, I don't know. Like, I mean, yeah, if he's going to retire at Mania, that would be a good way to do it. You know, and him versus Gunther versus Cena is one thing. Like, I'm kind of like, I don't know if that works. Gunther versus AJ would be a good. That would be like Shawn Michaels, Ric Flair level, in my
Yeah.
opinion.
It would be a good match, but okay, what happened in the segment was, Adam Pearce beforehand goes to Gunther and he's like, okay, dude, just say whatever you want at this point. And then Gunther comes out with the T-shirt showing Cena's picture on it that he made him tap out like a little bitch. And then he's like,
I love that picture, by the way. I want that T-shirt.
I've been told that I have to come out here and be respectful. And then it's like, well, I deserve some respect because I made Cena tap out like a little bitch. And then AJ Styles comes out. He just punks out Gunther by slapping the taste out of his mouth. I thought it was great. And then every time that AJ tried to talk, Gunther would just interrupt.
I know it was so, like, listen, I thought this heel segment was so good.
Yeah. It was really good. I thought it was a highlight. I thought it was a good way to use both of these guys while you have them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then we're getting back to the women. Becky Lynch defeats Max Dupree to reclaim the women's Intercontinental title. I thought that this was just all right. I kind of wish it would have got a little more time, though, because Maxine, she seems like she's getting a little bit better. She's improving.
I agree 100%. I think Maxine Dupree is definitely getting a lot better. I know they're trying to build her as like a female Kurt Angle, which she's got a while to go for that, but like,
yeah,
I can see it. Like, if they keep working with her and she puts the effort in, I can see it because I think she's got the ring savviness to kind of like get those technical roots going. But I really feel like honestly, this would have been a better move for Lyra Valkyrian. I think Lyra Valkyrian, which I know we're coming to her later, but her and like Lyra Valkyrian is a great technical mat wrestler. Like, I see it in the ring, and then she tries to do high flying things, and that's where she gets hung up. And I'm like, no, she shouldn't really try to high fly. She should more be Lyra Valkyrian should be your female Kurt Angle. Maxine Dupree, as I said, I think she's doing great. I just don't know if she's ever going to get to that level of Kurt Angle.
Right. That's pretty fair. But what happens is basically it was a solid match. The finish is Becky Lynch does like a cradle roll up, grabs the rope to win, which is your classic heel tactic. And then Becky talks to the title afterwards, like, no one's ever going to take you away from me again. What I would have liked to have seen is Max Bree actually chase after Becky and be like, no, bitch, this title's mine. And then they go to the back and then they kind of fight it out. But we did get a backstage fight a little later on. It just wasn't the one I wanted. I would have liked to have seen these two kind of fight it out backstage. So you see Maxine have a little bit more intensity in her.
Yeah.
Over the fact that Becky took the title.
Yeah, and you know what? Here's my thing: is like I don't like everyone's like, oh, why bother giving the title to Maxine if she's just going to lose it back to Becky? I'm okay with this as long as it builds the program. You know what I mean? Now, if Becky Lynch is now, people are saying, oh, well, Becky's just going to have a match against AJ Lee at WrestleMania, and I'm like, yeah, but what are they going to do in the meantime?
Yeah,
like
because
AJ Lee is not there on a full-time basis. Like,
no, because you've got 12 weeks to kill. You need to kill these next 12 weeks.
Honestly, I feel like that, I think that this program, I think that Maxine and Becky should continue this program up through the Rumble, maybe give the belt back to Maxine, right before, right at Elimination Chamber, and then set up for AJ Lee and Becky. I think AJ Lee and Becky would be a good match at Mania, but why put the IC title on it? Like, I feel like if they do that, they're really doing a disservice to a mid-card title because, to be real, yes. Has Becky Lynch elevated the title? Yes. But here's the problem. The title's supposed to also elevate the talent. Becky doesn't need a title to be elevated. Maxine Dupree needs a title to be, to elevate her. So it's like, I don't know why they are obsessed with putting this belt on Becky when it really should be the belt elevating that's what a mid-card title is for. It's the belt elevating the talent. And then after they grow past that mid card, that's when they go for the world title, and then the world title elevates that talent. You know what I mean? Like, they're doing it in reverse with this title.
Yep, it needs to be old school booking, and it's not. And it's like, okay, I get you want Becky and AJ to be a big marquee matchup. You could do that the easiest way possible. Just have Becky say, you were dominant in your era. I'm dominant in my era. Let's see who's the best. I mean, it's the simplest story in the world that you could tell. But yeah,
I would have said it best. You you put two people that don't like seemingly in the story don't like each other, and you put them in a match and you have them kick the shit out of each other, and there's your match.
Yeah. It's easy. It's not that complicated, but WWE, they have to overcomplicate things. And then we move on to the Usos. They
Oh, hold
come
on a
out.
second.
Oh, go ahead.
Before you, I got two.
Got a couple
I got one
notes.
more note.
Okay.
First off, Becky Lynch was wearing her ring attire, which I'm sorry looked awful on her. And I'm not only pointing that out because she's a woman, I'm pointing that out because it looked really awful. However, it is Star Trek themed. And I am going to point out that starting next week here on NerdTube, we will be reviewing Starfleet Academy on Thursday nights, with the new episodes coming out with Becky Lynch in the episodes. Okay,
All right.
that's it.
Shameless plug. Okay. And then we move on to the Usos basically coming out saying, okay, Dragon Lee, AJ Styles, you put up a hell of a fight, but this is our year. We are back. We are here to reign over the tag team division. Here's my one complaint about the segment. Where the hell was Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods? If you're going to have them, run it back, unless you're saving it for Mania, I'm like, where's Kofi and Woods? Because Kofi and Woods have been on TV crying for the last, 2, 3, 4 months talking about we are, mourning the tag division. We're supposed to be the top tag team of all time. And they weren't even booked on this show. So I'm like, okay, the Usos just say we're taking on any and all comers. I would have liked to have seen a tag team come out and interrupt them. And I think it could have been the New Day, but what do I know?
Well, that's the problem right now. Is like, as I said, they don't. With the titles, it's like you've got these, like, you can't have everything being strong, which is like, so right now it feels like the tag team division's taken a step back, even though the Usos have the titles. So that brings up my point with the Usos is like, the Usos are in this like no man's land where it's like they're too good for the tag division, but they're not good enough to be like the world division. I have in my notes, never singles, but too high for tag. You know what I mean? Like, I don't understand. Like, as I said, I don't understand why putting the belts on them matters, if you get what I mean. You know what I mean? Like, they're basically doing the same thing with the women's title. They brought the Kabuki Warriors back together and put the women's tag titles on them. That worked better because within the past year or two, like, none of those people, except for maybe, Rhea Ripley and Io Sky, but like with the Kabuki Warriors, they haven't been in the world title picture recently. Jey Uso's been in the world title picture. This seems like a big step back for him. And granted, I'm okay with that because the backlash with Jey Uso has just been a cluster. Like,
yes.
And honestly, one thing I keep on realizing, the more that Jimmy gets to talk, is Jimmy's the better talker anyway. Why was Jimmy not the one getting the world title shot? Jimmy could have actually, I mean, I get it. Jay has like the tagline and everything, but I'm like, Jimmy's the one who can talk on the mic really well.
Yeah. Jimmy can talk you into doing anything, and that's what I love about him. But with Jay's got to get better with his conditioning. He's got to get better with his cardio. I would probably change up the Yeet entrance because the Yeet entrance alone is what's doing him in. And I'm like, dude, you've got to make some changes because now that, both of them have got to be in their 40s, it's like time ain't forever,
I mean, I think Jey Uso peaked, and I don't think Jimmy's going to make any better. Unfortunately, that's the way I see it.
Yeah,
I would love to see Jimmy come out of nowhere and like actually get a push. I don't think Jay's ever going to be ready. I think they tried for Jimmy to be or Jay to be ready, and he couldn't deliver. And I mean, I was very happy when they did the surprise win of Jey Uso over Cena at the Rumble, because that's what I want. I want surprise wins at the Rumble. I don't want, like they're talking about Roman Reigns winning the Rumble this year. I'm like, no, Roman Reigns doesn't need a Rumble win. Like, have El Grande Americano win the Rumble for all I care. I just make it somebody who it actually matters to, not Roman Reigns, who can basically just walk in and say, I want a title shot, and he gets it.
Yeah. I don't want these guys that have been around forever. I don't want these veterans that have been around forever to win the Royal Rumble, because I know they're going to Saudi, and I know they didn't shut up about that either on this show, talking about, oh, yeah, we're going to Saudi Arabia for the Royal Rumble, which kind of sucks because it's going to inevitably get spoiled as to who's going to be in the Rumble. We know that Chris Jericho is most likely coming back. I do not want Chris Jericho winning the Royal Rumble. I don't even want.
Won a Rumble, though?
No.
Okay. I do agree with you that he is too big to win the Rumble now, especially too old. But like at the same time, I'm like, I'm also, if he did win, I wouldn't be horribly upset because he's never won a Rumble. You know what I mean? But like, does Jericho need the Rumble win? No.
And I'm to that point where we're Chris Jericho. I'm like, okay, dude, just come back, put people over, take your Hall of Fame speech. You could do your podcast on WWE, and I think you'll be all right, man. I mean, you'll have a job for life with WWE anyway. You're pretty well set as far as that goes.
Give them another season of Unreal. It'll be fine.
Yep. Okay, and then coming up next, Liv Morgan defeats Laura Valkyria because Liv has been out with a shoulder injury for the past 7 months. They didn't know if she would make it back, but luckily she has. This was actually a all right match. And then the one complaint that I have is, okay, can we please kind of get ready to figure out what we're doing with Judgment Day? Because it feels like we're going through this constant breakup, get back together. We're teasing a breakup. We're getting back together. Pick something and be consistent with it.
I actually have an idea for the Judgment Day. I actually want them to be an all-female stable with Dominic on the side. I think, honestly, those three, and then just having Dominic kind of, even though I know Dominic's injured right now, but they could still work that to their advantage. They could still have Dominic in the stable and just have him being out there. But I think it needs to be an all-female stable. I think it needs to, like, for the most part. I think Finn Balor and JD McDonough need to go do their own things or even do a tag team thing on their own.
Yeah.
Like, I think I like Liv, Raquel, and Roxanne together. I think they are a great triple pairing. And like, as I said, Dominic's just Dominic. Like, keep him there because he gets the heat no matter what. Yeah. You know, like, I really feel, and him and Liv have just got so much going on. I don't understand why they went with the Raquel route when they could have gone with the Stephanie Vaquer versus Liv Morgan for the world title, because that seems like a slam dunk for when she comes back.
Yeah, but with Liv Morgan, I thought that this match was just all right, and then they had Bayley, you know, trying to go after Roxanne, with the chair. So they run backstage, and then Liv Morgan gets the win, and I'm like, okay, well, you got to kind of reintroduce the audience to Liv Morgan because she's been gone for 7 months. So it is what it is. It was a solid match, and all right. The main event. Do you have any notes about this? I'll let you.
I don't have. My only thing is the Stephanie Vaquer. Segment with Raquel. Yep. Speaking of the Judgment Day, as I said earlier, I really like what they're doing with Raquel. Like, I think she really took the advice of Kevin Nash to heart when Kevin Nash basically said, you know, when you're doing your thing, like, you need to be booked like me, like, you know, like a big guy, be big. Yeah. And I mean, I think she took that to heart. I think that's what she's been doing. And I hope that takes her to the moon. You know what I mean? Like, I hope she wins the world title, or they draft her to SmackDown and let her go after Jade Cargill, for God's sake. Jade Cargill's doing nothing over on SmackDown.
God, let him cook. Yeah, that would cook. That would be a good match.
I don't know. Jade Cargill's not that good. Like, I've watched some of her matches and I'm like, but like, I really feel like they just need to put the strap on Raquel. And as I said, not that I necessarily want to boot her out of the New Day, but like, or give her the IC title, take her over to Smack, give her the United States. God, do something with the United States Women's Championship. I know we're not talking about SmackDown, but
please,
good Lord.
Yeah, that show's going to need a lot of help because I know that they've been struggling under 1 million viewers recently. And I know, it was the holidays. It was this, it was that. No, SmackDown is tanking.
Well, but they actually made some pretty big moves this week. They actually brought Zack Ryder back under his real name, Matt Cardona.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah, they did. They brought him back. I was like, oh. Actually, this week's SmackDown, from what I saw, I only watched the highlights of SmackDown because I don't have Peacock or Paramount. I don't know what it's on, but
I think it's Paramount. I don't know. There's so many services these days to watch them under.
But I actually thought they did a really good job of SmackDown this week. It wasn't spectacular, but it also wasn't bad, I didn't think.
Yeah. Okay. And then I think we're about up to the main event now.
That's the last pair of notes I have.
And I thought it was a solid main event. I mean, you know, but with CM Punk, dude is starting to look like he's his age now, and I'm kind of worried about him a little bit. It's like he's going to be 48 in October, and I'm like, man, I know WWE's trying to squeeze as much as they can out of him, but I'm like, dude, you've got to really be careful because he looks like he could still get hurt off the simplest of moves. He looked kind of gassed in there at times when he was facing Bron Brekker. But overall, I thought it was a really solid main event. And before that, they had Rey Mysterio and Penta, you know, all talking to each other about like, yo, I got your back and blah, blah, blah. They actually turned out to play a role in this match. As
LWO 2.0.
Yep, as did the Vision, that everybody played a role. There was like outside interference. And CM Punk picks up the win. And I don't know how to feel about that because they gave Bron Breakker this championship match, and I'm like, okay, so what are we gonna do? Are we gonna have Bron Breakker win the Royal Rumble and run it back with Punk, or are we gonna go the Brock Lesnar route? I mean, it'll be curious to see what they do with CM Punk with the world title because it's pretty obvious that CM Punk will be walking into WrestleMania as the world champion now with this win over Bron Breakker.
Yeah, the closer we got to tonight, the more I realized that. And honestly, I didn't realize this until somebody mentioned it, but this was CM Punk's first title defense since he won the title.
Yeah.
Like if he would have lost it tonight, I mean, like I'm not a huge fan of CM Punk anymore, but I'm just kind of like, oh, that would have been bad if they really would have, just like, took the strap off him off his first defense. But that also brings up another point is, as I said, we only get 4 matches a night. And it definitely lessens the amount of title matches you get over a long period of time. I don't think titles should be defended every week unless there's an open challenge thing like the US title on SmackDown. But at the same time, these titles are not being defended enough. You know what I mean?
No.
Like, what happened to the 30-day clause?
Yeah.
If you don't defend in 30 days, you vacate the title.
Yep.
And I mean, I don't care if it's like a squash match. Like, like it doesn't have to be a pay-per-view match.
No.
Like, tonight for the most part, like the women's intercontinental title gets defended a lot. Obviously, the world tag team titles get defended a lot. But it's like, like those are kind of the only 2 titles they ever put on the line. I'm trying to think. The women's world title doesn't. The world title doesn't.
Nope.
The intercontinental title doesn't.
Yeah, you have to make the portrayal of your championships actually mean something, and that has been a lost art, honestly, going back as far as the 90s. This has been a problem really since like 1999, where it just feels like belts are props a lot of the time, and they don't really feel as important. But I am curious to see, where will Bron Breakker go? Is he going to be that guy that comes in the Royal Rumble, cleans house, eliminates 15 guys, and then he wins the Rumble, and then he's like, all right, Punk, you beat me once, but now you and I are going to fight it out at WrestleMania, and then I'm going to take this from you.
But then they're basically doing the Jey Uso Gunther booking again, just opposite roles.
Yeah.
Like instead the heel's going in against the heel is going in as the one who is the underdog technically.
Right.
I don't like that. So I mean, I don't mind Bron Breakker like winning. I don't mind Bron Breakker like building up this, building up. As I said, I didn't mind him losing. They have to build the program off of it, though. You know what I mean?
You can't just have Braun go. You can't have Braun just go back to the line. That's not how it has to be with Braun. With Braun, it's got to be, I came this close, and one day I am going to kick your ass, and I'm going to take this belt from you. Like, that's what they need to do the very next week. Braun needs to come out and be like, yo, you got lucky. I'm going to kick your ass and take this title from you, because that's how you keep Braun strong.
I just don't want them to Brock Lesnar him. I think Brock Lesnar, the problem with Brock Lesnar that I always had was that he was a flickering candle. He was hard and intense for like 2 years.
Yep.
And then he was like, he came in 2002 or 2001, and he was gone by 2005. Is that
right?
Yeah,
he came in 2002, left in 2004.
Yeah, like he was a flickering candle. I don't know why everybody thinks Brock Lesnar is this amazing thing, because he's not. You know what I mean? Like, I never understood why people love Brock Lesnar so much. He came in, he was a beast, but he just left after just a couple years, and I'm like, why is this guy so great? It never made any sense to me.
Yeah, the Suplex City thing for me is what got old real quick. I was like, okay, I'm over it.
Well, yeah, because Scott Steiner made that more, made that popular first.
Yep.
I do want to talk really quick about the in regards to the match. I don't know, have you talked about the match at all yet, or we're talking about his future?
Oh, we could talk about the match. Yeah, let's get into the match.
I did want to talk about the Frankensteiner botch. Did you see that?
Yes, I did. Where he had him, and then he kind of, I think one of them let go a little too early, I think is what happened.
Well, I think what happened after a while, I watched it back a couple times, like the actual spot. It looks like Braun did not get his legs situated around his head, to cross the ankles. And when he went backwards, and I don't think Punk was in the proper position to do a Frankensteiner.
No.
Aren't they supposed to bring their legs in so they could just flip over?
Yep.
And Punk's legs were still outside. So, but my problem with that is, okay, you botched. Okay, botched, that happens. It's wrestling, it's real life. Things don't always go according to plan. I'm sorry. But then like literally 2 minutes later, they go back to it. And I'm like, don't do that. Like
Yeah,
the
because it makes
exact
it look
same turnbuckle.
choreographed.
Yeah,
Yep.
the exact same turnbuckle. Like everybody, like I think Stevie Richards says it on his show. Everybody's got to get their spot, and that's Rex Steiner's spot or Bron Breaker's spot. Like that's the spot that he has to get every single time. Is that Frankensteiner? He's got to go up and go, and then It's like, no, you botched it, so move on. Like,
Yeah, do a couple moves, and then if you want to go back to it, try it again, but do it
well, no,
like
that's what
where.
they did. They
Yeah.
did a couple things on the mat, but then they
Oh,
went
okay.
right back to it, same corner and everything. And I'm
I
like,
would change up the corner. I would at least have, Punk take a beating a little bit. And then I'd be like, all right, I got him worn down. Now I could execute this move. But they went right back to it. They didn't
yeah, it
get the
was
time to
literally like
breathe.
less than 2 minutes after they botched it, and I'm just like, no, like. I don't know. I also think that the styles between Breaker and CM Punk were too different. Like CM Punk is really slowed down a lot, which is fine. He's older. I get it.
Yeah.
I'm not saying he needs to be like this high flying whatever at the age of 48, which I mean, Rey Mysterio's the age of 50
something.
and
Yeah.
he's still doing it. But like, I just, these two really like Braun Breaker is more of that high octane, like really fast paced, and that's what happens when you get a 20-some-year-old and a 40, like late 40-some-year-old in the ring together. And sometimes they work well, and sometimes they don't. And I think this is one of the cases where they don't. It was a good match. These two worked as well as they could, based off of Braun Breaker's inexperience and CM Punk's experience. But then they both they were talking about CM Punk having a gas tank or something like that. Like he could really go for CM Punk can go for 10, 20, 40,
30. Yeah. I was
50.
like, no, he can't. I was like, no, he can't.
I give him 15.
Yep. Punk is a guy that could work maybe a 20-minute match, but now Punk has reached that style like how the old veterans in TNA used to be, where the young guys had to slow down to accommodate the veterans. And now Punk's become that guy where the younger talent, have to slow down to accommodate him because Punk is old and he's slow. It happens. It's a natural part of life.
Yeah.
But as for CM Punk, I'm thinking, dude, you got to get out within the next couple of years, man. You got to really start planning your strategy by like 2028 to say, yo, I'm done. Because I know they want to milk him for all they can with this nostalgia return and all that. But I'm like, let's get ready to go sit him down backstage. Let's make him a commentator or a special contributor for WWE, because that's where I think he really would excel in. And I think his best days in the ring are behind him. I think he's got maybe a couple years left before he needs to hang it up.
Oh, Siri, call Gunther, please. Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. Have Gunther be the one to retire him.
Yeah, I mean, that's what they're going to do. Everybody who's going to retire, they're just going to put them in front of Gunther. That's
yep.
What do.
Be like, here you go. Yeah.
Well, the thing is about the Legend Killer thing is that it's not that he was retiring people. He just was destroying legends. You know what I mean? Like that's why it's different, is because actually Gunther's actually retiring people who need to be retired. Whereas Randy Orton was just punt kicking anybody who was breathing and was over the age of 35, 40.
Yeah, he was taking everybody out. That's what I loved about Randy. But yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say. So I just have one more note here. It's just a side note that I put. I don't. So if you're done with the Breaker match, you're done.
Yeah, I'm done.
All right. So here's one thing that I really think needs to happen, and I hate to do this, but at the same time, I really feel like it needs to be done. I think they need an all-women show. I honestly feel like that after seeing this Raw, because there was 3 women matches and one male match. I really feel like that the women deserve their own show. I really do. And not that I want to take away. And I mean, women can be on Raw, but I just feel like give them their own platform so that they can shine. Because I feel like
let them work. Yeah.
I really work and cook. And look, NXT is great. It's a great, not undercard, but it's a great what's the word I'm looking for?
Developmental / farming system is what I'd be looking for.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's maybe replace NXT with an all women show. And I mean, maybe that won't be for some people. I would I would watch it, and I'm not in the perverted way. I actually really, one of the things, because you know me, when I watched back in like, the mid 2000s, early 2000, tens,
Yep.
I always complained about the women's division. I always wanted a good women's division in wrestling. I always thought that there was untapped potential there, and that it just never would. They just never took it seriously. Now I feel like they do, especially back in the late 2010s. After I stopped watching, they finally actually took it seriously. And then going into the 2020s, they've actually really kept up with it. And for the past 10 years, I feel
Yeah.
like they've actually been serious about the women's division. And I feel like they need their own show. And they did Evolution a couple months ago, and that was actually pretty successful, and it was a good show.
Yeah. If there's enough demand for it, which people got to make noise, and there is money to be made if you did an all women show, you could just do like, an hour and a half to 2 hours, doesn't have to be long. You could get away with that. And what you do is you just let them go out there and you let them work. You show people like, hey, we women are more than bra and panty matches. We're more than, just eye candy. We're going to show you that we could work. And
Well, I
women
think they've
could work.
already done that. That's the thing.
Yeah.
I think they've done that already. I think they've
Yeah.
proven themselves. I just think they need their own stage to showcase. And I think that WWE is afraid, oh, well, if we don't put men on it, it's just going to look like, that they're watching just like softcore porn. And it's like, no, have you seen some of these women work? Like
Yep.
they are really, really good in the ring. I mean, Rhea Ripley, Io Sky, Kabuki Warriors, Liv Morgan, Raquel Rodriguez, Stephanie
Yep.
Balcier, like
Bailey, Naomi, I could go
Naomi,
on and
yeah.
on. Yeah.
Oh my God. Like you've got so much good talent that it's in the ring. And I mean, I would go to bat for any of the, not so much Jade Cargill, Tiffany Stratton, even. Like she was kind of like a Barbie doll at the beginning, but then she got so much better.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like there are so many good talents that if they just kind of had their own show and they could cook, I think honestly it would become more popular than,
Yeah.
well, I think it'd honestly be more popular than SmackDown at this point because
Yeah. SmackDown needs help. Like it needs, capital needs help. It is, oh God, I don't know. Cause I know they tease Cody Rhodes, Randy Orton for like the 100th time. And Randy's like, yo, just so you know, I'm going to win the Royal Rumble and I'm going to fight you at WrestleMania. And I'm like, okay, if that happens, cool. Student versus teacher is the obvious storyline they'd be going with, going back to the legacy days. But SmackDown is really going to need the help because right now they're struggling to get above 1 million viewers.
which is sad because they've got the flagship titles. They've got the WWE Women's title and the WWE Heavyweight Championship. Those are in my opinion, those are the prestigious titles. The world title and the women's world titles
Are the titles.
like the what?
Are the titles.
Well, they're the ones that are more popular right now. But
Yeah.
honestly, your WWE heavyweight title or your WWE title and your WWE women's title are like the classic, like the original WWF women's and
Men's championship. Yep.
Yeah, like the world titles are basically the spin-off of the NWA WCW, titles.
Correct.
So it's
Yeah.
but you don't even put that great of booking behind your main titles. Like those should be the titles, the creme de la creme. You know what I mean? Like those, and they don't even really do good booking with those. And Drew McIntyre is fantastic, but this thing with Cody Rhodes, they book Cody Rhodes so bad. Like I know he's better than this.
Yeah. I don't get why they would throw Drew McIntyre in there just to lose to Cody that many times. I'm like, seriously? It's like you can't, if you're gonna do something, you can't have McIntyre hold the belt for at least a couple months, at least 60 to 90 days. He can't hold it for that long, and then Cody could get it back.
Well, that's what I thought about Kevin Owens last year. Kevin Owens was like Cody holding the belt from Mania to Mania was I think was stupid.
Yeah,
like, they should have had Kevin Owens take the belt off of him, and then give the belt back to Cody like the Rumble, right? Because I think they fought at like SummerSlam or Money in the Bank or something like that, where you could have given where they had the two belts. Remember, the one was the classic WWF
the Winged Eagle.
Yeah, and so you could have put like the belt on Kevin Owens for a little while, but then by Royal Rumble, you could have put the belt back on Cody and have him in the program with Cena. But it's like, no, we're going back to Cena 2.0 booking. And I don't understand why we have to have these just ball hogs. And I don't blame Cody. I never blame Cena, but I'm tired of seeing him on the TV.
Yeah, it gets to where it's like, okay, we get it. It's like the Subway commercial. It's like first couple times you see it, you're like, all right, cool, I'll go to Subway. 50th time you see it, you're like, oh my God, we get it. Fuck. And that's how I am with Cody, where I'm like, okay, I even told people, I was like, when Cody wins the belt at WrestleMania 40, don't boo him, don't turn on him. But then it's been a couple years now, and now it's like, okay, I could see Cody eventually getting that Cena treatment of, all right, motherfucker, what else you got? Because you're doing the same damn shit. And they've got to change Cody's character up. They got to have Cody lose a little bit more. Cody needs to drop that title. Cody doesn't need the title for over a year. It's like these year-long title reigns, it's not the 1980s anymore. If you
Yeah.
want to do a 3-month title reign, I'm cool with that. A title reign should really be no longer than 90 days in the modern era, in my view.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, 90 days. I think 6 months is pushing
Yeah.
it, but yeah, I agree. I there needs to be more title changes, and not just title change for title change sake. Actually, build up storylines with these people. You know what I mean? Like, but the
Yeah.
problem is that they give these like Drew McIntyre and Cody Rhodes have been in a program since what, SummerSlam?
Hmm.
Maybe a little bit after that. Like that's what, September, August.
Yeah, and
Like, how
Cody's
long?
made McIntyre's bitch pretty much the entire time
Yeah,
they've
and
been
he's
fighting each other.
never lost. Like
Yep.
besides what, a disqualification.
Ooh wee.
Wow.
Yeah, a DQ. Wow.
Yeah, like, no, like, no, McIntyre should have had the belt. I mean, honestly, I'd be happy if they put the belt on him next week, this upcoming Friday on SmackDown.
Mm,
I,
yeah.
I'd be happy with Matt because I'm just like, and they're talking about doing Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns 3, and I'm like, you know what?
No.
Fine,
No.
do that, but don't have the WWE title on the line.
Yep. If you're gonna do it to see who the better man is.
Yeah, no
That's
titles. I
yep.
want, and then have Drew McIntyre walk into Mania as the WWE champ. He
Yeah.
deserves it, in my opinion. He walked out of Mania one during COVID. I think he should. I think he should go into Mania this year as champ.
Yep. I want Drew to get his moment, even if he loses at WrestleMania. I want him to say, I walked in as world champion, as WWE champion at WrestleMania. It's not going to get any better than that for me. That's how I want Drew to kind of have that like cap off his career. I'm not saying he's got to retire, but I'm saying for like peak championship Drew, that's his cap right there, is to say, I walked into WrestleMania and defended the WWE title and had one of the best matches of my career. That's
Yeah,
how I want it to be for Drew.
I know, and that's the problem though, is that they're not, and they're gonna
No.
they're like, as much as we used to praise Triple H as being this like, oh, thank God it's not Vince anymore. It feels a lot like Vince now.
Yeah, and for the record, I think I can speak for both of us and say we don't want Vince back. We don't
No.
want him back.
Mm-mm. I
But
want Triple H to do better. That's what I
yeah,
want. And we know he can do better because he was doing better 2 years ago.
yeah, it's just a matter of, dude, you got to find that within you that's going to be like, all right, we need to get not only the casual fans back, but we need to get the diehard former fans back into the product. Those are the two demographics you've got to cater to. You got to get new people in to make wrestling fans. You got to get new casual fans, and you got to get the diehards back, because right now, I don't know how it is worldwide, but nationwide, I think it's like WWE for Netflix is only drawing maybe 2 million viewers, and they're lucky if they even get that. SmackDown is worse.
Yeah, SmackDown has been creeping anywhere above or below a million for
Hmm.
a while now. And as I said, I mean, I think this past Monday or this past Friday SmackDown, with bringing Cardona back and doing some other things, but they really need to make some changes in creative on SmackDown. And I'm sorry, Road Dogg, but
You ain't it.
you either need to step aside or let somebody help you, because you ain't booking good.
Mm-mm.
And I mean, because like, you've got, where's the tag title? Where the hell are the WWE tag titles?
Amen, brother.
Like, for God's sake, like, that's what I'm saying. It's like, we can't have, why are they not putting focus on these titles? In my opinion, every match on a show should be building towards a title, a mid-card title, a tag title, a world title. If you have any extra space, then you can build for like a like non-title rivalry. But I'm
Right.
like, all of your titles should have some kind of active rivalry going. Otherwise, like the women's United States title, what are you doing with that? Absolutely
Yeah.
nothing.
Yeah.
You gave it back to Gilia after you gave it to Charlotte or Chelsea Green for like 3 weeks. Like, what are we doing on SmackDown? Like,
Yeah.
oh
Consistency.
God.
Consistency is the word I would give for WWE in 2026. It needs to be much more consistent. We need to see a lot more consistency. And I don't mean consistency as in screw ups, Hunter, Road Dog. Like, book better, make people want to see your shows because it's WrestleMania time. This is the best time of the year. You got to build this up to make it like, okay, yo, we need to go out of our way to pay $30 to see this stuff. And I'm not ordering the Royal Rumble. So far, I'm not. I know it's only the first show of 2026, but if this is the way it's going to be, I'm like, nope, I'm not ordering these PLEs.
Well, I mean, oh, by the way, did you hear that next week's Raw is
early? Yep.
No, not early. It's gonna be a collaboration with Breaking Bad. It's gonna be called Booking Bad.
Yep, Booking Bad. But the good news is next week, on a serious note, they're going to Germany. That's going to be good because the crowd, the overseas crowds have been owning the United States of America.
They're going to go, like, that's why they booked AJ and Gunther for next week. Everyone's like, why would you book it for next week? Why would you book it for the pay-per-view?
There's a reason they
I'm
did
like,
it. Yep.
I'm like, yeah, they are going to go nuts in Germany for AJ
Gunther.
Styles.
Yep, that crowd. Because see, here's the thing: the overseas crowds, they whoop our ass. I have no shame in saying it. Like, we as American wrestling fans, we are nowhere near as loud as like France and Germany and all these other places WWE like to go on their international tours.
I love it when they go on international tours. I'm not going to lie. The crowd makes it far more exciting.
Yeah, that's the one reason I can't wait to watch Raw next week is because of the crowd.
And I love it when they bust out the decibel thing. I'm like, I mean, like, they never bust that out in America. You know what I mean? Like,
they don't.
They don't ever. Well, why bother in America? Now, when you're overseas, you bust out that decibel meter because they are loud.
Yep. But okay, overall, for the first Raw of 2026, like Cheeto said, it wasn't terrible, but it wasn't great either. Triple H, we challenge you to step it up, man. You got to.
Call us. Yeah. We'll help you. We'll help you book, man.
Yep. It's WrestleMania time, man. You got to step it up. You got to make me want to pay the $30 to watch WrestleMania. I challenge you to do that because so far, I know it's only the first Raw, but I'm not that impressed. I'll be honest about it. So, all right, Cheeto, any other thoughts you'd like to add before I wrap this up?
No, sir. I'm glad you're joining the NerdTube host circle. So you can now next year be in the category of NerdTube Host of the Year at the Golden Glasses 2026. If you'd like to see Golden Glasses 2025, you can catch it here on the channel. We just did it last week.
Yeah. All right.
Another shameless self-plug.
Yes. I would like to thank Cheeto for joining me. And if you have anything else you'd like to plug.
No, I'm good.
Okay. I'll go ahead and take us home. I am DOZ. I'd like to thank Cheeto for joining me. And thank you all for watching. And we will see you guys next week. And we will eventually come up with a name for this podcast. So, all right. Thanks for watching. Peace out.